what was the experience for you on the Golden Rule? You had so many great. It was it was nice to hear so many great things that you thought of the Golden Rule after you got on.
My experience, yeah, is just allowing to be free to speak about, like topics that Tony brings up. Yeah, his questions are very deep and it makes you think about your marriage, about your life, your
Magic.
relationship with your parents, everything. So, um, yeah, in my experience with it, it allowed me to kind of get things off my chest in a way.
Yeah. Yeah, and that was cool to see in you too. It's kind of like not bittersweet, but like the reason why you came to the Golden Rule is because we were having problems. We were having problems communicating to each other, right? And we found out that everybody, and this is something that I learned from the Red Table Talk, everybody is operating from a place of hurt. I thought that was so poignant of Jada to say like, oh yeah, everybody's broken. Or Will Smith said that everybody's broken, and everybody's bringing baggage from their family, from how they were raised into their own relationship. And when I think back to my main struggles, not think back to, when I think about it right now, my main struggles or challenges as being a wife in a husband and wife business relationship is the fact that I'm always like wanting to please. Like, notice me. And that's because when I looked at the relationship with my father, it's always like I'm always like his helper. So and I want to be the one to like give you exactly what you need. You need the wrench. I'm like, got the wrench. Like you need the hammer. I got the hammer. Like I want to read your mind as your assistant.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about that because
So does that kind of transcribe in a way that how you said, "Oh, I'm a follower"?
yeah. Yeah.
Huh.
That's why when you were going through the phase,
Yeah.
which was a solid maybe 2 to 3 weeks or a little bit like that, where you were burnt out and tired, and like I understood that, but I when you were not willing to lead, which was like saying you were not willing to lead me or the marriage or the business, and you were like trying to walk away for a minute because you were just frustrated. I was getting so turned off. I was like, what the hell, dude? Like I'm not attracted to that. Like man up, like lead this company, like lead me, like I will follow you, you know what I mean? And when you were placing it upon me, it was like, yes, I'll lead in my role, don't worry, I can take care of that, but don't ask me to lead in your role because I cannot do my role and your role. So that's why I was getting frustrated for a little bit, like in these past couple of weeks, as we're getting to that point where, as usual, in November we get burnt out. You know, in my role and your role, which you do a lot, and you're like, I can't take anymore, and I'm like, I don't want to take what's off your plate either, dude. Like I'm doing the best I can over here. And so that's kind of like what I've been like kind of going through in terms of, oh, like please lead, I will follow you. Like and I think back to the relationship with my dad, and like I always want to please you, so I want to be the one that can read your mind and support you in what you need support on. Like I feel like I have a
yeah, that's
like a
really
gift for that.
interesting because yeah, me growing up, it felt like I think I was a stubborn kid to my dad and my mom.
You think you were, you know you were.
Yeah, I were. I mean, I was. I sometimes I'm still. Like,
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe that's why a lead. Are leaders stubborn sometimes? Or?
I would think so. They have
Yeah.
to be, because you're the one to say, no, let's do it this way.
Yeah.
Right? A follower goes, okay. I do that with you all the time.
Yeah.
And there's some things where I'm like, no, absolutely not, or whatever. But for the most part, I'm just like, okay. And we just go for it.
So within our team, who's a follower?
In our team?
Yeah, and who has a leader mentality?
Definitely, like before, when Jonathan, before he left us, he was definitely a follower. He was a follower to the T. Just like, and nothing outside of that. Like if you're on a spectrum of follower and leader, right? He's on the follower extreme side. So But he could lead when he when it was just him. And he was such a great follower, and I think it's like an Asian thing. But I remember I told you, like, every time I go out with him, when I had to shoot with John and he's the lead and I'm the second, he just automatically
Turns into a follower.
turns into a follower.
Okay.
And I was like, why? I'm like trying to push him up, right? But it's not his natural state. And of course, if I'm there, I'm the elder. Like, if I think about it deeply, I'm sure he doesn't think about this shit. But I was like,
It's
oh, I
probably
feel,
natural.
yeah, it's natural.
Yeah.
I feel like the same thing. If my cousin was there, if Michelle was there, I'm treating her like the elder.
Really?
She is the ate, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, she's the, and I'm always gonna think about her that way, always. Yeah, even if I get frustrated, or I'm sure John probably got frustrated with me or whatever, but he'll always default to, she's the elder, she taught me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So the like the respect.
Yeah,
Even till the very end, he would ask me, oh, is this good? I'm like, don't ask me, don't do it. And yeah, he would just always like, and I think it was a form of respect that he had for his elders in general, because that's a very Asian thing. That's what I felt anyway. I don't know if he meant that, but
is it an Asian thing, or
I think it's an Asian
or
thing.
You think every culture does it?
I don't know about other cultures.
Okay, so I don't think.
I know in my culture,
Yeah.
you respect your elders.
Yeah.
And your elder cousins, and you treat them like they're the elder, like when we were growing up, Michelle was the top. She was the top. And so I feel like he does the same with you. He respects you. It just does what you say. Follower. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And there was never any pushback, really. Not to be like not to be mean or not to be spiteful, just because it's just respect. That's all it is. That's a very Asian thing. Just respect your elders no matter what. So I felt that from him, which I always appreciated. Even though I try to be like, go do it. You're free. I'm your I would start saying that. I'm your second, dude. Lead me. I would start saying that. And then I think slowly, if he stuck with it, he could get more comfortable with it. But because of our relationship before, maybe it was hard for him. And Jenna has more and more leadership. More leadership. Yeah, she rebels against me sometimes. That's true. Yeah, she's like, I'm gonna do it my way. I do feel that sometimes. Right. I'm like, all right. And then I'm like, you know what? I'm not trying to control you. You let me know how you want to do. I'm gonna ask you, or I'll tell you if things need to be done the way they need to be done. But for the most part, I like that in her, because that's what it takes. You need to be a leader. To be a lead. Yeah. Just like you're like, no, I'm gonna do it my way. Like, you don't see anything outside sometimes. Tunnel vision, yeah. But sometimes you need that, and in a lot of ways, I respect that. I admire that, because
that's the only way you can stay focused.
Yeah, like for your career, throughout the whole KOV career, before, you didn't look at anybody. You know what I mean? You didn't look at anyone. You're like, all right, cool. I see where you like. You could see it on Facebook or something, but never did you go like look at somebody's work and be like, oh man, this is how they like. No, you just went. You know what you like, and over time, you just started to improve it. And that's why I was like, okay, cool. So whoever comes into lead, Jenna's our lead right now. I want her to do the same thing. Just take off and go. Like, I can give her references. I give her references of your work all the time, and she just always surprises me with really good decision-making skills and leadership skills. I saw her read the book that Qual gave to her, right? Yeah. So that's great. That's cool. I never read books. So. Yeah. I mean, you have some books. I never flipped it open. But you're like, you just probably look at the pictures, and you can go, cool, I get what you're doing. You don't have to read shit. Yeah, you don't have to read stuff. Yeah, you just look at it, and you're like, oh, I see what you did there. Which is, that's all that anybody else does also. So, but yeah,